Alright, hey guys, I'm Skytrias, and this is probably the fourth time I'm recording this. I am not sure why, but OBS keeps on crashing and no clue. So anyway, I have a sound appear now whenever it stops recording, so I'm just gonna put these pieces together, hopefully, and we'll see. Anyway, so today I'm going to show off 4coder on how you can get started on the customization. So 4coder is a modern text editor based loosely on Emacs. The primary goal of it is to maximize the power and ease of customization. So it's kind of like Vim, right? Vim is all about customization and such, or in VS Code, you get most of the functionality from customizing. So it makes sense to have a text editor that focuses on it, and it's not just like an afterthought. So it also places high priority on performance and portability, so that's important, right? This is made from handmade. So everything you see he did himself without any libraries, which is pretty amazing. Or with minimal libraries. I don't know, actually. So then it has cool features like virtual white space and other stuff. So pretty much you can do everything yourself. And here's how it looks if it's customized. I have to remember that my face is there. Yeah, it's actually the first time I'm doing this with a face. Hello. So this is kind of how it looks and feels, right? It's amazing. I think at least and here's just some of the things you can do with it. Let's go v-split here. So here's how it looks customized, right? So all of my changes are in here, like animations for the cursor and such. You have cool things from Ryan Flory, like the code peak, like that. You can actually see the locations of things and quickly jump to them, stuff like that. It's just amazing. And you can put everything in here, and in just one file just rebuild the program, and you get all the changes that you want. So pretty nice, right? And it runs nice. Task manager, let's take a look at that. Amazing. Do we actually have two instances running? What the hell? I'm not sure. What was that? Alright, welcome back. So that was 4coder pretty much on my side. And now of course in the beginning it doesn't look like that. We can go in here. You can get it on itch.io just for $24, the beta. I guess every new release or every heavy new release will cost more, or you will have to purchase again. But like small updates and such, they come for free, obviously. So yeah, you can get it here. There's also the demo. You can save in it, so it's pretty nice. So the only thing you really need to purchase it for is if you want to customize it, right? And that's what we want to do today. Just look into it a little bit, kind of show off how it works, and yeah. So go ahead, download it, then put it anywhere. I'm just gonna have this tutorial folder. And yeah, here's the application. That's how it looks from the beginning. Just dark. So first up, you can switch around from these panels. That's how they're called, with S or Control comma. So here I'm on the right, here I'm on the left. You can move around with the arrow keys. Control O opens files or opens a dialog where you can move around and open things with enter. And yeah, you can move around, you can hold control and move faster, or like from white space to white space. You can center the view with Control E. You can do other things, right? Like, let's go into the bindings. You have strgf, so all the usual things you're used to, like searching. We can search for include. We can go further. You can reverse search with strgef r. You can even go into the word, press Control T to go for the word itself, to search for it. And like the list goes on and on, but one of the main features is the mark system. So with Control Space, you can leave off a mark. And then from this mark to the current position, you can cut everything. So like that, with Control X, you can cut. With Control C, you can copy everything from the range. Obviously, undo, redo, Control Z or Z, and Control Y. Yeah, like the usual actions you have in Notepad and such. Hopefully everyone should know those. It's just that it works with these marks, and you really gotta learn those. I feel like this system is much better than something like Vim, though. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a few other things. Alt X opens a command window with everything you can do. Like the theme lister. You can actually use different themes. That's pretty cool. This is not by default though, and I will show you later on how you can actually have your custom theme, because right now the theme files don't really work that great, or have some bugs. So yeah, now it looks different. So we can switch around. You can do things like closing the panel or doing a split and then another split. It's sort of like a window manager almost. Useful things are definitely load project, that loads the entire project. If you have a project file like this project file pretty much just says, hey, where to load stuff, which files it loads, and some pre-commands that you can run on the F keys. Let's see. Oh, good. I'm still recording. That's nice. So yeah, this is pretty useful if you have like a project like I have, like this. Right, I have this project file and I can load the project. I can call anything quickly, and right now I have some errors, but still. And yeah, the usual things, right? In here you would probably want to have indent with tabs, for example, or have any custom file names like I have, 4coder, and other settings like the UI stuff here, if you want to have scroll bars or not. One important thing here is the username. This actually shows up in here. You do this with Alt-Y and Alt-T. And like I said, you can look all these commands up, get used to them, search them. Here are the built-in bindings on the index. And here you see everything, right? So very nice. You can actually click on them as well. Sometimes they have descriptions, sometimes not. And here's a custom API. So if you do anything or if you want to change anything, here's everything. Like the draw rectangle, that kind of stuff. What I would want is the actual types themselves, like the application links, stuff like that. It would be wonderful if that's in here. but you can actually always look them up in the code. So yeah, that's pretty much it, right? For this, and then you can just close the editor and reopen it, and then the changes will be applied. Like the bindings, if I go to the bindings now and I change the name, now it's Skytrias. Yeah. So just try it out. You know, if you're not used to this editor, come back to it every time and try it more, and then have it be your full-time editor. You know, that would be the best. But I'm going to show you the customization parts now. So we're going to open a file, or we're going to load the entire project. First, it makes more sense going over some of the folders. So here are your themes, your fonts. In custom, you have all the scripts. In bin, you have the scripts to generate the exe files. Here, this generated folder, this is automatically generated, so you shouldn't touch this. Here's a lexer, which generates this lexer CPP. So here you would have different languages or stuff like that, but this is, I think it's going to get reworked because it doesn't work that great yet. It works, but it's not easy to customize. Yeah, so the way it works is you have this exe file that you can rebuild to your custom stuff, and then this DLL file is the actual core part. That's the stuff that shouldn't get changed or that you shouldn't be able to touch. So yeah, let's just start. The way you start is pretty much with the CPP file. The default bindings, actually we're gonna rename this with this. So I renamed it so we can kill this buffer like that. Well, the bindings don't save. No. Oh my god. Okay, so I think it's still live. That's some of the things that should get fixed, I guess. Is it there or not? I don't think so. Now anyway, just anytime you want to recompile it as well, you gotta close it. Kind of sucks right now, but that's the only way. So, like I said, this bindings file is in here. So I renamed the file to my name. This way, you know, it makes sense having your own file or the renamed file so that you know where everything is. And also, I guess what you should try is to have all the changes or all the custom changes in one file so that you can easily share it, easily inspect it and such. And usually you would just pull out things from here, like the draw CPP. You have things like draw file bar, for example, here. This is all the stuff that you should like pull into your own code and then customize. So this way, all of the changes are in this part, and then everyone can get it. Now let's just start, right? This we could even go with this one. I just always rename the files to, or the functions to Skytrias, and then whatever it was. And yeah. So you can rebuild the project by going into the folder and then calling custom bin and then going for the build super. This rebuilds it, but it doesn't have the default bindings file anymore. So this is why, you know, I renamed it, and now we actually got to specify it. So I'm just gonna say that, and now it works and it tries to rebuild, but again, the application is opened, so I cannot rebuild it. So we're just gonna do that. Cool. So now you can launch it again, and any changes you did are now in. So let's quickly just do a couple of changes, right? The first thing I want to do is I want to open, or I want to create a small build.bat file where we have this command stored. So yeah, now all we have to do is call this build file. And there we go. So I'm just gonna load this entire project. This will load all files, like I said. And now some of the cool things in here is you can search globally. So you could go for, if this was called draw file bar, like the old one, you could press Control Shift and T, and this will list all of the locations of where this was in the code. Like here, here's the actual location where it was, where it's being called. So let's say we do want to customize the draw file bar. The draw file bar is actually what you see in here. So you can, if we go back to this here, you can actually see these. So row, percentage, and such, column. The name is the unique name of the buffer. The file format, or what is this ending, the line endings is LF. If a file is saved or not, or has unsaved changes, it's also marked. So this kind of stuff we could customize, right? The first things that we can or should customize is just drawing anything, right? So I'm just gonna get this default render caller. I'm gonna copy it over to the Skytrias, right? Just gonna put it there. I'm gonna rename it. And here we can now look into this set all default hooks. Go into here, and now we have the location of this render caller. Or we could have looked for this and then seen that it's only being called here and here, right? And those are the locations here. So all we gotta do is we gotta save this call, right? And this is a default one. We just disable it, go back to our file, enable it manually with our custom one. So this is how it works. And yeah, that's it. So now it will call our own one. So let's call this one here again. So now we can change anything in here and it will be redrawn or remade. So something that we can do is to draw a rectangle. You can go to where it's being used, right? Or we can take a look at the bindings. The draw rectangle requires the app, the rect, roundness, color. Here are the types actually. Whoops, sorry. Don't know if you've seen that. Wow, we're still recording. Wonderful. So it requires the app. It's kind of like the global thing that you always require. It has all of the data that you probably would need to do any rendering or whatever. Then you have the roundness and then the color. So this is actually rect f32, I think, which is a struct. And there's this function here, rf32, that you can call. And it just has like x, y with height. Or it's actually, you have to specify it kind of like this, right? So we're gonna fill in these. So 0, 0, 100, 100. We're gonna have 0 roundness, and the color is gonna be F red, which is a color that's default. So we can take a look at that like that, right? Awesome. So there are just a few custom colors. Now, the draw rectangle, you will see it requires an ARGB color. And there's actually a draw rectangle, it's not in here. Interesting. But there's a draw rectangle F color, which is a different color type, I guess, which requires these. So you can see it's an F color, not an ARGB color. So be aware of that. So now if we would rebuild, what should we see? Well, a rectangle that's at 0, 0, it's 100 wide, with dimensions, and it should be red. So now we can rebuild. All right, nice. And we can go back here and run. And there you go. That's a red rectangle. And this easily you can customize your code. Or this entire editor. It's amazing. I think, at least. Yeah, I'm kind of tired of recording so many takes. Anyway, so probably something you would want to do is check out other people's code if you haven't been so far into it. There have been several people doing crazy stuff already, like me. No, so you can see on my GitHub page, there's just a lot of stuff for animations and such. I mostly focus on visual stuff and stuff that's important to me. Then there's also Ryan Fleury, who's also a YouTuber, sort of. He's working on his game, but this guy is crazy. He has done a lot of stuff. You can find everything in the Discord groups. There's just like a channel on any showcasing of features and such. It's cool, right? So I have this list of things I wanna do, and some things that you could probably do, like fast scrolling or highlighting something. It's very nice. The first thing we probably should do is have a custom theme, right? I don't like this theme so much, so we're gonna disable the draw rectangle, and I'm just gonna have my custom Nord theme, if you know about it. This is the only good way of doing themes right now. I'm sure this will change at some point. So just call Skytrias color theme, color scheme. I think that's all it requires, and then we can rebuild. Does not take anything, right? All right. Just build, close the file. Oh, really? I thought we saved it. Well, I was a bit too fast. So we can jump to it. It does require the app. I just didn't say save, I guess. Yeah, alright, that worked. So I always do it this way. Whoops. What the hell? Oh, it does have the new color scheme already. I thought it was my default one, my default 4coder. So yeah, this is my new Nord theme. I think it's great. It's very nice on the eyes, I think. But yeah, this easily you can change things, right? You can change key bindings, all that stuff. You can draw things differently, and stuff that we can already do, for example, is change the scroll speed in here, for example. Like, you can change anything. You just gotta know a little bit about the code base, about C or C++ as well. Actually, this code base is more C. It's just using some C++ features from like operator overloading, which makes sense, right? Now, anyway, some places to look up for, like I said, is the draw CPP, which has all of the draw functions mostly, and then default hooks, which is where most of the things are like coming together, like the draw render buffer, that kind of stuff here, default render buffer, where all of the things that are being drawn and such come together. So now let's take a look and see. First up, we could change the draw file bar to something that's will have some new usage, right? So there's a new thing in 4coder beta that's macros, and currently I think it's funny, they don't have any. You don't know if you currently are recording. So if I press the macro recording and I write anything, I go back here like that, it doesn't, we don't know if it's still recording. And now I do have a lot of key shortcuts in here, but now we can actually rerun this. Okay, I wasn't recording, in fact. So I stop recording. Okay, so it seems like what is even going on? Okay, hopefully that now works. So now we should be able to stop, and now we can redo this, right? I just wanted to show off that macros are a thing now. You can record, stop recording, and rerun, right? But you don't see it anywhere. So we could add this ourselves, right? It's something important, we can add it. So we loaded the entire project, and now we can search for things with list or locations, and then we can search for macro, and then we can see all of the locations. And now we can go into this one. It has global keyword macros recording. So now we can go in here and say something like here, hey, if that is the case, draw our rectangle. Right, that's the logic. Wow. Interesting. 255. What the hell? Unexpected end if. What the? How did that appear there? 13. Oh, yeah, probably deleted too much. All right, that works. All right, so yeah, and now you can see the scrolling is faster. And now when we do record something, we should see the rectangle pop up. So I'm recording, you see it. Now I'm not recording, and I can replay. Nice. So obviously it makes sense to make this a bit more, have a better place of showing up. So we could actually take this into our draw file bar here, and this is what you can see up here, like I said. And this draws the background, and now we can do something like this, where if it is recording, we want to color it differently. So the bar has, a rectangle already that we don't have to specify. And now all we have to do is maybe say the color ourselves, and then that's it. Right? Now all we have to do is in this render color, it has the draw file bar already. Right? It's there. Now we just have to replace it with our one. And bam, there we go. Just make sure that the functions are always above it, or that you specify the function name globally without the code. That works. Then you can have them not be in order. But yeah, or you just have the stuff it depends on above it. So that's pretty much it. Now we can just build, check if it works. Build again, and there we go. So now if I do record anything, we should see it appear. So that's very red, kind of sucks. So what we could do is there's this fcolor ARGB, which takes in values from 0 to 1. So this way we can do any color that we want. And now the alpha value will set to like 0.5. And this way, the red is not so imminent. Actually, I don't know what imminent means. Now let's see if we do record, it's not so bright anymore. Great, so this is how you can customize stuff already. It's pretty amazing. I think at least. And yeah, what else? I'm still recording. That's amazing. OBS, for some reason, works now, I hope. So, and now you could go ahead, go into all of the code and go crazy, have fun, you know, dive into the code, like most people do, right? Like, if you want to have anything in it, in 4coder, you can now make it yourself. And yeah, I suggest looking into draw CPP and default hooks, like I said. Now, one of the last things I do want to show is how you can regenerate the lexer. So in the languages, you can find all of the keywords that are being highlighted. Like static or void. You can see there are different colored, and we can search for static, like there, or static has to be somewhere else, there. Or we can search for void, like that, or all sort of types that you have. And we could search for something now that we want to be highlighting, like this function keyword. I think it's like a static or whatever, predefined. And all we have to do is say this, and then just add the word, whatever we want, like, or what would you want? Maybe the new keyword, who knows? We could have that. Oh, it's already there. Huh. So you would see new is highlighted. But there are a few more steps that you have to do. Whoops. So it's not just rebuilding it. You actually have to go into the custom folder, into the bin, and go to build one-time bat. Then you have to go to the custom folder again, into the languages, and then into the gen CPP. So you will see this will build the lexer, or the one-time exe. And now you can actually run this one-time exe, and it will rebuild the lexer CPP. And now you actually have to do another fresh build that takes in the new stuff. And here we can see already, it seems like I had some stuff in here. A dot, amazing. Like that. All right, so it regenerated everything, and now we should have the new custom word highlighted function. Nice. And you know, this is what you have to do, and this is what I did for my stuff in here, for Plane, which is sort of a game I'm working on. I have all these things highlighted, and well, other stuff like function highlighting and such. Anyway, so now you could go on and yeah, just go crazy, right? So that's keyword highlighting. If you have a different language, there's your way to go. That's going to be reworked probably at some point. I think that's about it, really. Like, just dive into the code. Don't be afraid. It takes a little bit of time, obviously. I'm just going to show you some stuff, like of how you could use my code or others' code, for example. Just look for anything with Skytrias, for example. There's different token highlighting. A good one for most people is probably paint functions, which will paint any text that has a parenthesis in here. And well, that's it. That's all it does. So it just repaints the text. And all we have to do is push it somewhere here. Right? That's all you gotta do. Don't change any code. Then you just gotta look for, hey, where's this called? It's called in the render buffer. Alright, just copy the render buffer over. Just hope that nothing depends on it. Actually, the render caller is where the render buffer is called. So we can already replace this with our new one that we will have. And obviously it's dependent on that, so we paste it above it. And yeah, there's the render buffer. Now we just gotta look for things that maybe we don't have, like this one. Ryan, I don't have this yet. We can just uncomment it, really. And yeah, you can go crazy. Like, this is a cool part. Rebuild, see if it works. Okay, something is missing. Sure. In here, I have the highlight color specified globally. Like that. Now let's see. Okay, 115. What? What the hell? Okay. Stupid error. We don't have the Skytrias draw tokens. We have 213. What else don't we have? We don't render the cursor any different, so it's probably render cursor or default. Yeah, default probably. Let's see. All right. Actually, let's see, and let's load the project. Go into draw, render cursor, hooks, render cursor, cursor. Where is it? Render cursor. All right. Don't really know. Yeah, it's nowhere. Nowhere to be seen. But we can also get the cursor if you want. That makes the all animations going and such. It's pretty cool. So like, just go ahead and try out all these things, try out all the stuff that people have done already. It's pretty amazing. Now, in this case, it requires a few global variables again that I have, like this, I think, should be all. Like that. Let's just see. All right, 448. Yeah, we don't have a render buffer. Render buffer. What is in here? Oh. I thought we did have it. Yeah. Does not take 6 arguments. What? Now that's a new one. Oh. So I actually added this frame info. Obviously it's a lot of back and forth. Anything that has like a parenthesis will be colored in a different way, and we should have the cursor be animated and such. And yeah, that should be it. So we can rebuild and rerun, and now we should see that the cursor now spins around or animates smoothly, or when we draw that it looks nice. And now that you can change this color here to change all of the function highlighting. Right, it's just painting over the text with a color or changing the default color. And yeah, you can look into it, right? Like it's a paint functions. All we do is we go through all of the tokens in the text or in the buffer that we have. We count all of the ranges here from here to here until it hits that, and it just does this paint text. I'm here, the important parts of the code, I say, hey, here is where you should probably put your color scheme, colors in here. And yeah, just go wild, guys. One thing is with the token parenthetical open, which is this one, it also works on, sadly, it works on color schemes or arrays as well, so you can see that stuff being highlighted. I don't worry about that, but someone did mention on Discord that you can use a subkind for the token to change that. Now, what else could we change? Like I said, if I did fast scrolling, highlight functions, we could go for a code peek from Ryan, but I just recommend you guys search for stuff on GitHub, go on Discord, try to see what other people do or did, or try out things yourself like I do here. Write everything down that you want for a text editor and just go mad. That's what I would suggest. And again, I think 4coder is amazing. Just look at it. It in comparison to something like Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio, it's just it's not great. Visual Studio's shit. Like, how does it take so long to generate a project? Like, I don't know. Oh, a new update available, probably 10 gigabytes, that kind of stuff. It just sucks. And then you have nice software like Remedy BG or whatever to like debug something, and it's just crazy and good. Like, it's good software. Anyway, some last things. Follow me on YouTube if you want, or Twitter, or go to Handmade. I wasn't actually on there. Handmade. How is it called again? Jesus. Handmade forums or whatever. Like, it's just Handmade Network. Jeez. There's a ton of projects here that, like Handmade Hero, Raylib, 4coder, that are made from scratch, like Remedy BG is what I showed you here. Stuff that's actually being made from hand, that's good, that works. There's some crazy stuff here, like vector graphics, awesome. Void, this is someone that streams as well. Like, very nice stuff. The Odin language that I'm using. So Loud, which is a very nice audio engine. Yeah, you should probably use it. It's very easy to use. Essence, which is an operating system from scratch. Crazy. Like, this kind of stuff, it's just amazing seeing it. And if you can get this quality stuff out, I think it's amazing. But yeah, I didn't show too much, but you, like I said, just try out the editor. You know, if you're not familiar with it yet, try in phases, right? Like, that's what people tell Vim people as well, or Vim beginners. Like, try it every day, try to get into it, and slowly and surely move to it, right? But yeah, like, go into Draw CPP, like, look into Draw File Bar. We looked into what else could you do. Draw Query Bar. This is a search, or here, this is what you see. It's a query bar. Obviously, you gotta explore this a bit, but it's nice. It's great. Everything I want in an editor. With that said, luckily it's still recording. Thank you for sticking with me. If you want to see more of these videos, obviously post that in the comments, subscribe, all that jazz. If you have any critique, obviously go ahead. I'm thinking of streaming, no, not streaming, but recording some of these things I'm working on, just so you can see kind of the workflow. Yeah, hopefully you liked it. And go ahead, buy 4coder or try the demo and join the Discord.